things that we accept and tolerate as normal today, 20 years from now, will be considered politically incorrect or offensive. We can't necessarily know what these things are, but it will be that way. Because even the things right now in 2018 that are officially politically incorrect and unacceptable, and I could think of words right now that I can't say in this video that 10 years ago I could say. Things change, people's perceptions change. Even President Obama, he voted against gay marriage his first term. And in my second term, he approved it. So it's interesting, even when you look at something so political like that, you can see people's views change over time. We can't necessarily predict what's going to be politically incorrect 20 years from now, but I do like to give us some ideas of what might be. And I had said, will the word crazy be considered rude, like a slur 20 years from now? Because we're making fun of people who don't have the capacity to control their intellect or their actions. Or if someone's bipolar, are we ultimately making fun of them by calling someone else crazy? What connections are being made there? So I've made that video. Here's another one I've got though. And please note, by the way, here's my disclaimer. I'm not a political person. I'm not a Republican and I'm not a Democrat. I'm a libertarian. So I don't identify as either way. So this is actually not a political video. I want to be very, very clear. I distance myself equally from Republicans and Democrats. I don't lean one way or the other. I'm back here doing my own thing. And I vote libertarian too. So for those of you who are very much Republican or Democrat, go ahead and leave a comment and tell me that I'm wasting my vote in every election. Okay, but my question though, 20 years from now, would it possibly be rude or bigoted to admit that you only date the opposite gender? Like, for example, if you discriminate against someone who is gay, obviously that's going to be a problem. People frown upon that. They're going to out you on Twitter and everyone's going to hate you, right? That's if you discriminate against someone who is gay. That's where we are. That's how the world works. But in the future, what if it would be considered just as discriminatory and just as politically incorrect and awful if I were to say, even though I'm married, but let's just say in this fictional universe, 20 years from now, a person says, well, I'm a man and I only date women. Or vice versa, a woman says, I only date men. Could it be perceived that you're a bigot because you will only date the opposite gender? Because you're totally discriminating against people who might be of the same gender and attracted to you? So should there be such open-mindedness that unless you're willing to date either gender, you're discriminating against people and that you yourself are being a bigot? I know that seems like a stretch, but see, that's the thing. We couldn't have predicted 20 years ago that Abu and the Simpsons would now basically be a character they've got to basically write off the show. We didn't realize that 20 years ago, or actually, is that 30 years ago? Like we do now. Give it a couple decades and things we would not think would be unacceptable become unacceptable. What are your thoughts on that? Could it be, give it a couple decades, that you yourself, yes, you would be considered a bigot if you made it public that you only date the opposite gender and you would not therefore be interested in someone who is of the same gender? Would that be considered discriminating against people who are gay? And therefore, would that make you a bigot? Could that concept ever be a reality? This is not a political video. I am not a Republican. I am not a Democrat. Okay, go ahead. Do you think this prediction could eventually become true? Comment right here.